Hello, family and friends, loved ones, everybody. Welcome to the party. Wait, can y'all hear me? I'm gonna just keep going like y'all can't hear me, and then if y'all can. Oh, okay, yes. All right, awesome. So, welcome to the launch party for When a Fox Speaks. We're here today to celebrate Kyra's publishing of her first book. Um, And as soon as this event started, the book went live on Amazon.com. So if you type in When a Fox Speaks to Amazon.com, hi Kennedy, hi cousins, I love y'all all. If you type into Amazon When a Fox Speaks, then you should be able to find it. Or everyone who RSVP'd for the event should have been emailed the link as soon as the event started. So those are a few ways that y'all can access the book. We have a lot in store for y'all. We're going to get some readings. Kyra will have a chance to talk about the process of creating this body of work. Yeah, so let's get into it. Thank you all for being here. So, Kyra Priscilla Fox. The reason we're all here. Kyra is a truly, truly, truly exceptional creator, activist, educator, athlete, friend, family member, and an amazing, amazing, amazing big sister. Throughout her life, for real, Kyra has worked to build community. She's always been an advocate for others, always been an agent of change in the spaces that she moves through. And I don't know, just kind of thinking back to the ways that Kyra has historically found to express herself. I don't know, in preparing some comments for this event, I couldn't stop thinking about Kyra and Damien in 5th grade performing Apologize, and how far Kyra has come in the process of being able to articulate herself and being able to use her art to connect with her community and to really say the things that need to be said. And so there was back in 5th grade and all the steps since then, like Black, White, and Different, where Kyra was creating space to really engage with her identity as a queer woman, and how that identity really intersects with all of these struggles against forces of oppression. And really, I think that in all ways, for real, Kyra has been a role model. Kyra's voice has been something that I've always looked up to, something that I've always admired, and something that I'm really infinitely grateful for. And I think that this book is just the next step in that process, of Kyra finding ways to really say what needs to be said. And so without further ado, I invite Kyra to join me in the stream. Hey, sister. What's up?
All right. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah. Oh. Wow, I'm tripping. I had my headphones. In right now. What can I hear? What can
I hear? Okay. Hi guys. In the meantime, hello. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here, taking time out of your Friday night. Not that there's very much to do right now with the state of the world, but thank you guys still for taking the time out of your day to be here. Shout out to my little brother. As you guys will see while you guys are reading through this piece of work that I'm holding in my hands here, my brother has played it's a very significant role in my journey, and just being an older sibling and what that means. And being able to hear him talk about me in the way that he did. I did not know what he was going to say. I told him to freestyle. And if you know my family and my brother, I didn't really know what he could have said in that moment. But brother, I really appreciate it. And for you taking out the time. My brother's about to graduate undergrad, and he's in his finals and still took the time to not only read my book, help me edit my book, but also host this event. So thank you so much for those kind words. And being an amazing brother. And thank you guys, everybody who's watching, for being here. And I can't wait to get started. My brother kind of gave you a little brief interview of what we're going to be working on, what I'm going to be talking about in this journey of When a Fox Speaks and how it came to be. So, all right, let's get started.
So I have a couple questions for you. So in the preface, you kind of talk about how this book, and the various spaces that you worked on it, and various things in your life that was a necessary place for you to do what you need to say. So can you just the process of creating this book and what it has meant to you?
All right, just one tip real quick, brother. When you're talking, like you were like shifted a little bit away from the mic at one point. I was still able to hear you, but just for the next one.
Okie dokie.
I bet. So the process of this book, I actually started writing this book when I was living in Madrid, Spain last year. However, at the time, I was writing a novel. I was writing an autobiography novel at the time, and then quarantine happened. I had to come back to the United States, and with that, my style just kind of changed. What I needed to say changed, and how I needed to say it changed. And I wanted people to hear me in a very different way. So I kind of went back to poetry. I kind of started in poetry. Like my brother mentioned, since I was in elementary school, I was writing songs, I was writing melodies, and I was trying to find a way to get my voice heard and trying to find a platform for myself. And when I came back from Madrid, it kind of just meant a poetry book for me. At the time, in the beginning, it wasn't necessarily a book, but really just a way for me to express myself. And then it just kind of ended up being a book. I'm now in New Orleans, and since I got down here, still in quarantine, when I moved down here about 8 months ago, and I was just writing. That's really all I had to do. I could just write. I teach 8th grade. I know some of my 8th graders are on here, so shout out to y'all. And, you know, on the side, I just kind of started to write, and here we are.
That's incredible. So,
is my audio better now? I took.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
I definitely think that writing in sounds like a really different experience than writing back in New Jersey. Yeah. And so we're going to talk about the difference and how it's divided.
Yes. So the book started off when I decided that I wanted to write a poetry book. I was like, okay, I'm going to do 30 poems. Started off as 30 poems. So I wasn't going to actually have any parts into it. Parts with poetry are kind of like the chapters. I wasn't going to have any parts. 30 then turned 50, then turned 80, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have 3 parts.
You're echoing.
There's an echo.
Ooh.
Kai, could it be the
But they said, yeah, so there's an echo on Micaiah, and then I think they said your audio is unclear. So ask them if they can hear you clearly, and then Micaiah.
Can y'all hear me better when Kyra's mic is off? That's clear. Mm. I did the headphones already, but it was like, I feel like that was just more feedback. Yeah, Kai, I feel like the issue might be the two computers that you have, because it's the same problem as yeah. Oh, Kai, if you lower your speakers, Mark says it'll be good. That's the sound. That's the sound of genius. Okay, cool. Maybe we could I could talk, and then you could turn your microphone on when you're ready to respond or say your stuffs.
All right. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me, but if you guys can hear me, we were having some little technical difficulties. Can y'all drop in the comments if y'all can hear me a little better?
Sounds much better, said Jessica.
Okay. Cool. So we played around a little bit. So yeah, we're good. This is like very close though. It's like very personal. But we're good?
That's okay. It's an intimate, vulnerable setting.
It is, huh?
Into it. Yeah, you're about to see our stuff.
All right, cool. All right, we're good to go. All right. You know, like, what is an event if you don't have hiccups? You know, that's what makes events quality events. You know. Okay. I don't know what you guys heard. What was the last thing that was even? I was talking a lot. Okay. But you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna try to sum it up because that's what we do. Huh?
I said you might have to mute when Makai's talking. But we'll see. Just keep going. Everyone's gonna do sound down.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so when I wasn't really sure if you guys could hear me, I was talking about just the different parts of the book. I was talking about what that writing style looked like for me. I started off with 30 poems. When I got to 30 poems, I was like, okay, this is a pretty good collection of poems. I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna make a poetry book. And then I was like, okay, I still have more to say. I still had more free time. I still had more things that I wanted to get off my chest. So I kept writing. And then I ended up at 50 poems. 50 turned 80 poems. 80 turned 105 poems. And with that, there were so many different themes that came about that I needed to split them up into different parts. So I started off with part 1, PG-13, because my kids love to read my stuff, and just coming from a certain standpoint, it's kind of like I'm easing into the rest of the things that I'm going to be talking about. So PG-13 is kind of like a really good ease, and then Silent or Silenced, it kind of starts to pick up a little bit more, goes into my childhood experiences. Love or Lust goes into some relationship aspects of, you know, my 24 years of life. My birthday's tomorrow. I'm technically 24 already if I was in Spain, so I'm 24. Then we go into I Can Stand Alone. Those are just poems that can be isolated. They don't really fit into any category, and because of that, they kind of fit into every category. So those just are with the I Can Stand Alone. Then we go into the molding of my inspirations. That chap is basically about different things that have happened in my life and that I've experienced secondhand, that have made me want to do the things that I'm currently doing in my life. And then we finish off with the resistance, because, you know, I'm a Black queer woman in America and resistance is necessary. And that's how I'm finishing off my book. Basically, like, I said what I said, this is what needs to happen. A pushback is necessary because of the environment of the, you know, world that we're living in. So I finished off with the resistance and what it means to be resistant in this society and in the America that we're living in. And yeah, so those make up my different parts of my book.
Think that this entire book is an act of resistance. It's like really radical act of love. Like you were saying, you had more to say after you finished your first section, and I think that's important that you really made space to say those things. And let me just say, I'm very proud of you, sister. Like this is truly an incredible, exceptional, wonderful accomplishment. And yes, I'm so proud of you. I love you immensely. Yeah, Travis Williams made a comment about PG-13. Could you tell us more about PG-13? I know the first poem in PG-13 is a dedication to your teachers, your friends, your family, your loved ones. Why was it important to really acknowledge your support system in that really central piece? And what has your support network really meant to you?
There we go. Okay, I hope that was the last time that's gonna happen. So look, y'all, you see this? If you know me, I have these nails on, and it is like impossible to click on this touch screen right now. So please bear with me, because like I'm trying to be cute and like do this at the same time. So yeah. Okay, so PG-13. I saw your comment, Travis. With PG-13, it's kind of like a transition. Like I want to ease into all of the things that I'm really bringing to light that people don't want to talk about. So it's kind of stuff like that I can talk about, that are things that can be said in like everyday conversations, or you know, vice versa. But Mac, you did mention my dedication poem. We can actually transition now into some poem reads, and I can give you guys. So I'm going to read one poem from each part. So bear with me. Feel free to leave comments. Keep leaving comments. I can see them pop up on my screen as they're coming in. While I'm reading, I'm going to read through the different parts. Again, one poem for each part. Read the poem, talk about it a little bit, and then after that, I will take some questions and answers. There were some questions submitted ahead of time. If you have a question that you know you want to ask, that part will come after a little bit of a poem read. Hope I don't lose you guys along the way. Again, each part is a very different vibe, but we're going to start off with dedication, as my brother mentioned, because this is a dedication to all of you who are on this call, and even people who are not able to be here in this moment.
Let's get to it. And look, you're not gonna lose us. We're here.
All right, you can take them off. All right, and then it was me. Hello, everybody. So, starting with poem number 1 in part PG-13. Dedication. I dedicate this autobiography-styled poetry book to all of my teachers. Even if you ain't know you were teaching me. My role models, my lovers, my family, my classmates, my friends, my teammates, my coworkers, even my frenemies. All the relentlessly passionate people that have picked my brain, challenged my thinking, and pushed me to greatness. My team. I owe my successes to you all. Lost some along the way. I wish they were here to see this too. I know they're watching from somewhere though. But thank you. I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for each one of you. Thank you for reading and writing with me. So I felt it was only right to start this book off thanking you all, because I genuinely would not be here in this very moment without each and every one of you who are on this call. And I believe that, and I'm grateful for that every single moment I wake up in the morning and I'm able to teach 8th graders. I'm able to get my master's at Tulane, and I'm able to also write this book. So I wanted to dedicate that to you all. I could have wrote a dedication page, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna turn this into a piece of art as well, so that I also have that opportunity to thank you guys. So that is that first dedication poem number 1, part PG-13. I did slip up a little bit, but you know, artists do that. That's part of the game. All right, let's go on to the next poem. All right, and the next poem is Saying No, poem number 31, part 2, titled Silence or Silent. Silence or Silence, sorry. So, this poem is from a section of my book that really gets very personal. It taps a lot into a lot of my childhood experiences and how they have shaped me into the person that I am today. And it's some negative childhood experiences, but it's stuff that I'm sharing out with you all because there are things that are not said in this society. There are women all over the world who are silenced for things in this society, and we deserve to have a voice. And I truly believe that the work that I have done over the years and me using that voice to speak on certain things have helped people and have touched people's lives. So I'm going to continue doing that. I'm going to continue pushing those barriers. When I once felt silent and I was silenced, so this is Saying No, poem 31. Saying no. Why is the word no so hard to say? To utter 2 letters, is it fear of disappointment, potential discomfort, dismay, release of awkward energies? I try to practice saying it in my mirror from time to time. You would think 2 letters, 1 syllable, wouldn't really be that hard to get out. But I practice it because for some reason, no is still something that doesn't come easily to me. Do I not want to be rude? Do I not want to make people angry? Do I not want to hurt people's feelings or be an annoyance? I really don't know. But I'm 24 and I still have to sit in the mirror and practice saying no. And even worse, I have the same unwavering reluctance when trying to ask for help. And that is the second poem read of this live sip, paint, and chill event. Speaking of the sipping part, I hope everybody has their wine, has their beer, has something, adult beverage. If you are my children, you guys like to drink Sprite and Gatorade all day long, so that is for you guys. But that is saying no. Like I kind of gave that introduction in the beginning. It's finding a voice that a lot of people don't know that they have until it is too late. And yeah, that is the closeout poem for Silent or Silenced. It kind of wraps up the whole vibe of that section. All right, so I hope you guys are following along. I hope I didn't lose anybody along the way. We're going on to poem number 3. All right, part 3, Love or Lust. Hoo-hoo. Poem number 32, Questions about Love. So this is actually the first poem in this section because it kind of just lays it all out. It's just questions that I still have. I've had, my fair share of experiences with things that give you feelings, and I have a lot to say on it. So here I am. Here are my questions about love. Poem number 32, Questions about Love. Sometimes we must ask ourselves what love is. What does it mean to love? How do we show love? How do we identify it? How do we know who to love? Who is deserving of our love? Who wouldn't dare to hurt us? If we love, how do we know when love is genuine? If the love is pure? If we don't even know the type of love we prefer? Or what that love is supposed to look like? If we've never allowed ourselves to properly internalize emotions or accept security in the form of love. If love was driven by faith in a higher power, faith in ourselves and others, faith that there is love that answers all of our questions about love. How to give without losing, how to search without getting lost, how to be vulnerable without feeling at a loss, how to be happy without losing a part of ourselves. Love doesn't always have to correlate with loss, during or after. Love is just a series of good, but sometimes unfortunate events that bring satisfaction. With the right person, love can be appreciated in its best and worst forms. Love can keep you warm. Love can teach you things. Love can help you grow. Love can give you wings. Woo! Questions about love. I feel like in those last few lines, I feel like I heard my mom's preacher side coming out a little bit. I don't know about y'all, I think I heard it. Mom, did you hear it? Did you hear it? I think I heard it a little bit. But those are some questions. That the love or lust part is long. It's long. Because I dab a little bit into sexuality and what love looks like, from my queer Black woman point of view. And then just other aspects of love, just different feelings. If these things even are love, are they lust? That's the question. So, started off with some questions. All right. Am I talking a lot? Yeah. Not too bad. I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. All right. Did you guys get a sip of something? I don't even have a sip of anything. What's that doesn't even make any sense in 2024. In like 5 hours. But if you're on the East Coast, 4 hours. So basically 4 hours. All right. What is next? Poem 67. Mixed. Oh, bye-bye light. See you later. I think I still look okay. Oh, yeah, there you go. Look at the prop that was passed to me from backstage. It's a daiquiri. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry. All right. I don't know. It's all good. All right. We lost a little bit of lighting, but I think my melanin is shining a little bit, I think. So I think we're okay. All right, where are we at? We are at mixed. Let's flip on over. You see all these pages, y'all? Woo! Blood, sweat, and queer tears. All right. Poem number 67. We call this mixed. This part we call I Can Stand Alone. Again, the vibe is going all over the place. Y'all saw the roadmap. It was like really up and down, up and down. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. We don't need it. So, mixed. 67. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A dash of this, a dash of that. A little African, a little German, a little Italian. Bunched up inside of me. I subconsciously hold African history, German history, Italian history, internalizing it all, always kinda, but not quite fitting into certain categories, a little left out of others because I didn't quite fit in. Since as far back as my memory goes, I remember being asked, "What are you?" when I was like 3-4 years old. I was so damn confused by what I was really being asked. And then the question became, what are you mixed with? Things began to make more sense when the wording of the question evolved. But now I was even more confused because I couldn't even answer the questions.
Power off.
Power off. Okay, we're back in it. Because I couldn't even answer the questions. Now that I actually did understand what was being asked. My confusion shifted to who the fuck was I? I needed to know for myself. And at the time, I didn't have answers. No family history, samples of identities given by Ancestry.com. What does one do with information solely about one's origins? Still lacking the experience of actually understanding the story behind my origins. My long curly hair that made everyone assume I just had to be Dominican. Spent my entire life feeling my origins, but not actually knowing what race, place they originated. Lo and behold, after 53 years, my mom got her answers, which in turn answered mine. A little German, a little Italian, a little African. Mixed. If you all are familiar with my family, with my journey, with my family story, my mother was blessed to find her biological family about 2.5 years ago now, after not knowing them. That was that 53 years. And what that meant, growing up in a society where you looked a little bit differently. My hair was always, a little bit different. And people just assumed things about me, or they would ask questions that I literally did not know the answer to. And it came to the point where my sister and I would just make up things. Like, we would just tell them something, just to give them an answer. Because at the time we did not have those answers. But thanks to Ancestry.com, we were able to find our family, our entire family. My mom found her mother and her father, and her mother had children, her father had children, they have children, those children now have children as well. And my family has expanded in so many different ways, and I'm able to experience so many different cultures, and have grandparents, have a grandmother who just sent me a birthday card, things that I never really got to experience. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity. And with that, let's go on to the next poem.
You have some questions in the comments.
Oh, I do? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is it something we could ask now?
Travis said, does location influence your work?
All right. Whew, let's go. We're gonna get a little heavy in here with shackles. All right. Thank you. Woo! Poem 72. Part: the molding of my inspirations. Let's get it. Shackles bound me, keep me, hold me down, keep me secure while allowing me to drown. Shackles, bruising turned century-deep scarring. Shackles molded into our skin, holding power over my ancestors, attempting to contain. Shackles, bound our hands, bound our feet, bound our necks, no voices to speak. Shackles, keep me here, keep me familiar with pain. You must know my ancestors' name, blood painted, stained, molded into our skin. Shackles applied by the packers, packing us up, shipping us to the unknown. All we've known are shackles, blood painted, stained, molded into our skin. Shackles, my ancestors, shackles still bound me. Keep me down, weigh me down, let me drown. Shackles. If you felt something in that, then you got what you needed to get out of that poem. It hits every time I say that poem. It hits me very differently, especially with everything going on in the world right now. If your ancestors experienced those shackles, you know what those shackles feel like to this day, and what that significance is, and how that still holds us back in society to this day. Even though we can't see, we may not be able to see the shackles, we feel the shackles. The shackles are stained in us. They were passed down to us, and they're going to continue to be passed down because of the society that we live in, and that is shackles. But we're gonna transition into the next poem with that one, because we're staying here. So, whew. All right. Part the resistance. Police. Poem number 70. Yeah, you know, there's a lot going on in the world right now. Our reality of being Black people in the world right now, it's hard. It's hard for a lot of us. We need to make sure that we're taking time to feed our mentals, taking time to really make sure that we are okay inside in order to continue pushing on, in order to continue being the resistance that this world desperately needs. And we're going here. We're going to police. 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 I can see you looking at me. Your eyes glued to my skin. You are across the street, but I am suffocating within. Should I run? I don't feel safe. Police, police, somebody call the police. People who are supposed to help when we're in need. Impossible assistance. Racist police are the ones starting the trouble. There's no way they can also be the solution. Racist police see brown skin out of the corner of their eye, and soon after, a beautiful Black body is snatched from this world, sent up to the sky, prematurely taken to the next. Don't gotta be doing nothing wrong, just straggling along gives them reason. Reason to feel so threatened for their life that they take ours. Our skin color is the only justification they need to kill us. Make us get down on our knees and kill us. Knees suffocating, they kill us. Sacrifice our being, because who really cares if another brown-skinned body that was just minding their business is spotted corner of a racist cop's eye. Now we got another dead body, screams of all brown skins, crime. What the fuck, police? We gonna stop right there. My blood's starting to boil a little bit. That's gonna be the last one that we are reading for tonight. Police. That actually is not poem 70. It's poem 99. It finishes off the book for the most part. Yeah, that. I'm gonna take some questions. My brother's gonna hop back on, and we're gonna start taking some questions. I know some people had questions along the way that that we will get to. And I need to take a breather. Makes me angry, y'all. Makes me angry, and this is exactly why I'm putting this book out. This is exactly why I'm doing this, and that's not the only poem, but I didn't want that to be the entire vibe for the night. But just know that I'm saying some things that a lot of people may not agree with, and I don't care. I don't care because they don't care that they're taking our lives. I don't care because this system is literally rooted against black bodies. It is not built for black bodies. It does not look out for black bodies. And I am saying something. And that's it is what it is. It is like that. It is what it is. And that drops the mic. All right, let's get into some questions. Woo! All right, so we have pre-submitted question by Leela. Leela, I know you on here. Appreciate you. When we were roommates back at Howard, you were in that journalism sector. So we're gonna get into that question. Brother, you could read that out. You can mute me so that.
Can you mute yourself while I read it? Thank you. Also, just wanted to say thank you for sharing those pieces with us, for creating this space to even present your work for real. I know that writing this book hasn't been easy, that it's been vulnerable, it's been trying. But just by like reflecting, meditating on love, meditating on your relationship to your ancestors and ancestral memory, and also ancestral anonymity, and not really knowing all the answers, but finding your voice and being able to explore those answers for yourself, is really a truly, truly beautiful process. So thank you for sharing those pieces with us, and thank you everyone for holding that space for my big sister. So let's get into the questions. First question by Leela. Did you consider leaving any of the poems out of the book? Why? Second question. What do you want your readers to experience when they read your book?
All right. So again, thank you, Leela, for the question. And while I'm answering this question, y'all feel free, if you haven't yet, in the comments to drop some of your questions, and then I can get to those. We can pop them up on the screen, and I can get to those as well. But again, thank you guys for being here so far. And we don't have too much longer, but definitely want to open up this time to now chat a little bit. So, did I consider leaving any poems out the book, and why? So that is a great question, and that was actually something, Matt, you and I had talked about in the very maybe 3 months ago or so, because I kept adding poems, and it was kind of like, okay, you have this deadline. Why are you still adding poems? And I kind of was doing that because, well, one, what I was mentioning before about the roadmap, I was able to split the poem up into different parts to give a bunch of different vibes. So it's kind of like different like small chapbooks put into one big poetry book. So when I got to my 30 mark, I then realized I have these other poems that I have not worked on in a while. So instead of leaving them out, I tuned them up and threw in my experiences over the last few years or so, or a few months, and just tuned them up based on what I know as an artist now, and just life experiences. What do you want your readers to experience? I just want y'all to feel something. If I'm doing my job, y'all should, even in those that I read, I didn't want to give too much away in reading, but I still wanted you to feel something. If you felt something, at least in one of those poems, then I did my job. And I want to also break barriers. I want to say things that are not being said, and can't nobody do anything about it because it's in a book that, it's in a book. So, you can throw out your copy, but it's still on Amazon Live now. Type in When a Fox Speaks. So I just want y'all to feel something. I want to challenge your thinking a little bit if you have not thought about some of the things that I talk about.
Thank you for that. Can you mute again? Can I get to this question, or should I get to some other questions? Let's do some comment questions. Brittany Griffin just asked, how do you deal with writer's block, even when you really want to write something? You're still muted.
All right. Thank you, Brittany. So, how do you deal with writer's block even when you really want to write something? Woo! How do we say this? I kind of do art in different ways. So if I'm not able to write, I like to paint, I like to draw, I like to just play around with beats, maybe make videos. I like to stretch my mind in other artistic ways, and try to express, if I am feeling something and I can't get it out through words, I try to express it in a different way. And then a lot of times, once I've expressed things in that way, they then come back to me and I'm able to put them into words after that. Or I sit right on the couch and I turn on my TV and I watch TV and I just let my brain all the way relax and then come back, you know, when I'm ready, and try not to stress myself out about meeting deadlines or anything like that. And just, you know, when my brain is ready, when my mental is ready, start writing again.
And Travis asks, does location influence your work? You mentioned beginning the book in Madrid. How did the energy of the book shift after you relocated back to the US? And I think this kind of ties back into how long have you been working on the book? So if you want to speak on both of those.
I definitely think that location influences my work, and I didn't even realize that was a thing, actually, until I was compiling my work into my parts and seeing where certain poems originated, like literally where they originated. I had some that originated when I was in Spain, some that originated when I was in London, some that originated when I was in Morocco, etc. Just because these ideas came to me in those spaces. They may not have been finished poems, or again, like I mentioned in the beginning, I was originally going to write just an autobiography novel. So I was able to get my words out in this way when I was abroad. But then when I first came back to the US, when the quarantine hit, I went back to the US and I was with my family in New Jersey. And you guys will read about this in the book. I got stuck. I came back to the US, I think a year and a month ago now. So I had been back for about a month before my 23rd birthday. I had all these plans, these experiences that were cut short because I had to come back. I was in a very, very dark hole for a good 2 to 3 weeks. I couldn't find purpose in anything. And I beat myself up a lot because I'm like, oh my gosh, I was writing every single day, writing pages every day when I was abroad. I don't see a purpose in anything right now. And I think a lot of other people felt that as well in the beginning of quarantine. And then eventually it did turn to poetry. I wasn't able to do anything but go outside into my backyard and write. And that just became kind of that inspiration, but I still did not know that I wanted to write a book. I then moved to New Orleans in August, and that is when I really had free time because I didn't know nobody. I moved in the middle of quarantine to teach here, and in that moment, I then began to write poetry. So I feel like I've kept the same ideas and the same thoughts, and it just became more so a poetry book when I got to New Orleans. I think 6 months ago, I decided I was going to write a book, and I made the date my birthday. I was like, what better way to gift myself something than to write a book? So, you know, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. So we got a bunch of questions. I guess I could read. Okay. Well, Ruhama's question has been pinned. How would you explain your writing process?
My writing process. In the very beginning stages, the first few months, the first 2-3 months, I just wrote. I wrote as much as I could, as often as I could. I would wake up and I would just write. If I wasn't teaching, I would write. My weekends were spent writing because I really had nothing else to do. And I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And then when I realized, oh my gosh, I have a lot of poems in front of me, I then went back and did my first edit through. I put them all together, no particular order, edited through. Then I was like, I still want to write more poetry. So then I wrote more poetry, went back to the beginning again, edited all the way through. Did this like maybe 3 times. And then when I was done, I went back, edited it again, all the way through. Basically reading through my work over and over and over again. First physical, first on a computer. I was writing, I was editing, editing, and then I started ordering author copies. I ordered 5 author copies. Each and every copy, I went through every single word with my pen, with my sticky notes, just marking up everything. Just writing notes, sometimes writing the entire poem over again in the book, until I really felt like I was good. So I had at least 10 drafts when I was doing the book.
That's really incredible. And there are 2 questions that I think really tie back into what you're saying, just kind of about the process of working and reworking all these ideas. Mark asks, I'll read them both to you. You could decide which one you want to get into first. Mark asks, was it emotionally taxing for you to revisit and channel your experiences as inspirations to write the book? And so, like, what was it like to bring up and work through those memories? And then another question is asking, what do you say to young Black and brown writers who are looking to express themselves through writing but don't know where to start?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I like those. All right, I'm gonna start with the first one. And the first one just being about, the emotions that come with bringing these things up. But at the same time, I'm giving voice to things that were eating me alive. I'm putting them out into the universe instead of holding them in here and letting them hurt me. I gave voice to them. And not only did I put it out into the universe, but I'm now telling my story in a way that other people can read and see, wow, like, I'm not the only person who experienced this. You were able to overcome this obstacle, this obstacle, this obstacle, and still get to where you are and hopefully find inspiration in that. And it hurt. Like when I was saying just a few minutes ago about all the different drafts that I did, that silent or silenced part took me 3 times as long to read through than all of my other parts, just because it just took me so long to go back to all of those places. But I wanted to get it out, and I think that every time I read it, it made it easier and easier to read it. So that was that part. And young Black minds, the future of this world, I love you so much. That is exactly why I'm teaching. If you guys don't know, I teach 8th grade ELA in New Orleans. I know my kids is on here. Shout out to y'all. I can't say exactly who is, but I know that y'all are. And I appreciate that, y'all. And I tell them every day, our writing prompts are always geared towards what it is like being a Black person in white America, how you can use your voice, how you can be an agent of change, how you can fight back, and giving them words to be able to be these leaders and these strong forces in society. Again, I teach an ELA class. We write. They're so sick of narratives. We've written 25 narratives so far this year. Today, we just finished our very last narrative. They were literally cheering today because they were done. Hi, Michael Harris. They literally were cheering because it was the very last narrative that they had to write today. And it's just giving voice. Like, you should hear how creative they are if you just give them extra words to put it all together. And I just think that's literally why I'm doing this. They are the future. They are all going to be amazing. And yeah, so They are it. I'm invested in them. That is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. Me. Oh, there you go. Hey guys.
Yeah. You're exactly. You got a bunch of guys. Me and Kai.
Aww. Thank you, Mia. Did Mackenzie have a question up at some point? Okay. I thought I may have seen one.
So it's 8:31 right now. Do you want to talk about the Amazon link? How people can access the book? Okay, cool. You're muted right now.
Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna go over some release information, and as well, if you guys still have any direct questions that I didn't get to them, there were a bunch of comments coming in. If you wanted to drop them and stay a little longer, you can. I know a bunch of people are starting to sign off. Thank you, Brittany. But Mackenzie had also asked, we skipped over that, what the goal was, I believe. So what the goal is. The goal is to shake the ground a little bit. I am technically 23 years old when I released, my first self-published book. And I think that means a lot within itself. I think that being a Black queer woman, and being able to publish a book, being able to do all of these things and juggle all of these things, means a lot. And I think that I am able to inspire, or I hope I'm able to inspire. If y'all see my students in the comments, I think that I'm doing a pretty good job. I know I have students when we did what do you want to be when you get older project, and some of them were saying, I want to be a poet like Miss Fox. I want to be a writer like Miss Fox. And, a lot of people don't say that because they think, writers can't make money, but writers can also do so many other things. And I just want to pave that way for other young, Black authors, or just people who have something to say. And yeah, I just want it to all mean something. And I just want to bring to light, just like this ring light is on my face, bring to light a lot of things that people don't talk about. Like, we don't talk about so many issues in this world, and I don't understand it. I drank like 3 Red Bulls today, y'all. Try to teach 8th grade and do all these other things. I need Red Bulls and caffeine. They're both in that one drink. Yeah, I just want to bring like all of these wash hands, good vibes. Thank you, Kim. Yeah, I just want to bring a lot of things to light and talk about a lot of different things that need to be talked about. And I hope that they start a lot of conversations. I hope that this opens doors for a lot of different conversations. Yeah, that's the goal. So Amazon, right now, right here, right now, right here, right now, if y'all want to, if y'all know how to multitask, those are the dogs. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but our dogs are not happy that they are not inside with us sharing this moment. Look at that, that's me! Well, it's like the Fox version of me, but it's me. But you can go to Amazon, and you could like go up to the search thing. It says, search Amazon. Yeah, the white box and go like this. When a fox speaks. Right? Click enter. Click enter and see what happens. See what happens. Look, see what happens. That's my book, y'all. That's my book right there. Look, it's gonna look like that, like the one on the left or the one on the right, depending on what type of screen you're on, and depending on, look, you got options. Look, paperback or Kindle, and read for free if you have Kindle Unlimited. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. This is Jesus's work. It's my work, but it's Jesus's work through me, so it's both, And this is this is like literally living proof that it can be done, and it was done, and it still hasn't processed for me yet. Like in my brain, I'm saying all these words, but I promise y'all it has not clicked for me. But I feel like when y'all start reading and stuff, like I think it's going to click for me when I get like feedback, you know. So give me feedback, please, honest feedback. I want y'all to experience a lot of different things. Rahama is getting hers tomorrow. She got her first look. Some people are getting theirs tomorrow. I'm sorry, y'all. It has definitely been live for 2 days. However, I shared it on a more intimate setting first. You know, I wanted to share that moment more intimately first before sharing it out with everybody else. Not that I don't love everybody else, you know, but you know, like you guys have already supported me so much by being here right now on Friday night. If you're in New Orleans, I think it's raining, so like maybe you're stuck inside, but you guys took the time out of your day, you know, to be here with me, and I'm so appreciative of that. And if you want to go that extra mile and read my book, you know, and support me by allowing my voice to get out there and giving, you know, myself a mic to this world, I would really, 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 really appreciate that. Y'all have all been such a significant part of my journey. Like every conversation that I have had with each and every one of you has meant something to me. I've taken something from those conversations, and they have then added to this book and to the art that I was able to produce. So again, y'all have already did so much from being here, from knowing me, all of it, from experiencing life with me, or just following along in my journey, you know? So yeah, y'all, thank you so much. If you already did buy one, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. You're so amazing. Like, what? This is so crazy. Huh? You want to get me off the camera? Okay. Fine. But no, thank you guys. I don't want to, you know, hold you guys up for the rest of the night. Please let me know if you guys have any questions. I did make a When a Fox Speaks Instagram page if you guys want to follow that as well, just for updates, different things in a COVID world. I don't know if I'm going to be having any events and stuff anytime soon. I will be doing, I love you too, Kenzie. I will be doing, thank you, Mom, some signed copies as well that are going to start being available in March. You will have to reach out to me to make those orders though. I can either give you a signed copy or you can buy your own copy and I can sign it for you. Yeah. If anybody doesn't have any more questions, peace, love, happiness, radiation. Enjoy my birthday. Tomorrow, Saturday, you know, great energy because I was born on that day. So have an amazing day. I love you all.